Starting off, we have Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber began dating in 2011, and from there on the pair had an on and off again relationship. With that in mind, they were definitely not immune to arguments, and some of them were even caught on camera. They had many fights, but the most famous one happened when they were snapped fighting in their van at an airport. They were getting on a plane to Paris, and they got into a fight while at Princess Juliana International Airport in St. Martin. Selena was seen storming out of the car and walking to the airport by herself. She then threw her purse to the ground in frustration or to get attention, but who am I kidding, it was probably a little bit of both. Now as for Justin, he stayed inside the van for a while before eventually deciding to be with his girlfriend. In the meantime, Selena put on a happy face and met some of her fans there. Now this trip was after they got back together for the millionth time, but it seemed like both stars were miserable. Hopefully the flight was better for them both, but as we all know, they broke up for good in 2018. Next up is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Recently, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were spotted holding hands in Malibu and went to the celebrity hotspot Nobu. Now they were photographed while sitting at their table outside, and from some of the photos taken, it appears that Taylor is yelling at Travis. Now a video of this was taken and surfaced on TikTok, igniting rumors of an argument. Some even took the conversation to Reddit, where they debated what she was yelling at Travis about. One fan claimed that Swift told Travis, "I already asked you for that." Another wrote, "LOL, she looks mad." However, plenty of Swifties were quick to defend the couple. Would people stop saying she's scolding him? Some people are animated speakers. Maybe she's just retelling a story. Like, you have no idea, so stop making up, one fan wrote in the comment section on TikTok. "She's such a passionate girl, period," another said. "I don't think for a second that she was screaming until crazy people started saying so because they were projecting their relationship onto others," a third person chimed in. "It's a completely normal conversation." Now, what do you think? Is she yelling, or is it just an animated convo? Let us know in the comments down below. Now we have Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman. Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman met in 2004 while on vacation in Barbados, although Lauren was married to businessman Andrew Silverman at the time. Years later, they began quietly seeing each other, and in July 2013, people confirmed that the couple were expecting a child together and that Lauren had filed for divorce. Now in March 2021, paparazzis photographed Simon and Lauren arguing while strolling with their son Eric and their dog. People passing by the couple reported that the X Factor judge had a face like thunder, while the couple appeared to be arguing, resulting in Lauren walking away from Simon and him crossing the street to walk on the opposite side of the road while speaking on his phone. Now, this wasn't the first time the pair had been caught bickering in public, as they seemed to be having a furious dispute inside a vehicle in New York City in September 2013. Now, according to Page 6, the pair were spotted arguing at the rear of an SUV with their windows down in broad daylight. Simon was seen with his hands in the air while Lauren appeared to be upset. Hours later though, the couple appeared to be okay as they strolled down New York's Upper East Side, smiling. Then there's Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner first met on the set of the 2000 movie Pearl Harbor, but were in separate relationships at the time. Now the pair then started a relationship and got married in 2005, and they had 3 children and likely had a perfect family, until their nanny Christine Ozonian claimed that she and Ben had an affair. Then in 2016, the pair got caught having an emotional moment inside a car prior to their divorce. The couple were snapped inside their SUV after dropping their 3 children at school when things got heated. Now, judging by the pictures that circulated online, Jennifer was seen frustrated as she made hand gestures throughout the argument. At one point, she could be seen breaking down in tears inside the vehicle. Now the reason for this? Well, in 2015, sources told Page 6, amid reports of Ben's gambling and alleged cheating with other women, that the pair had drifted apart and had been in professional therapy for years. Now their split was announced a day after their 10th wedding anniversary, and they finalized their divorce in 2018, but remain on good terms. On to Charles Saatchi and Nigella Lawson. Charles Saatchi and Nigella Lawson got married in September 2003, but their 10-year marriage gained intense media attention. In June 2013, photos emerged that showed the celebrity chef Nigella Nigella being choked by her then husband Charles during an argument out in public. Nigella reportedly left the restaurant where the altercation occurred in tears and moved out of the couple's home shortly thereafter. After the incident, Charles told the Evening Standard, "There was no grip, it was a playful tiff. The pictures are horrific but give a far more drastic and violent impression than what took place. Nigella's tears were because we both hate arguing, not because she'd been hurt." But the police and the public didn't agree. Nigella then applied for divorce, citing ongoing reasonable behavior. In July, 7 weeks after the incident, the pair were granted a decree nisi, effectively ending their marriage. Now, I'm sure it wasn't the first time he had put his hands on her, but to do that out in public where anyone could see was just insane. Now let's talk about Jessica Simpson and John Mayer. John Mayer and Jessica Simpson were together for a year in 2006, but kept fans guessing with their on-again, off-again relationship. While they were on vacation in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, John and Jessica had a public argument that unfolded on their hotel balcony. By the looks of the pic captured by the paparazzi, Jessica was so angry at him. Shortly after the picture surfaced, news broke that the couple had called things off. To add insult to injury, it was confirmed that they had actually broken up in these photographs. An insider confirmed the gossip to People. They broke up Sunday night, but who knows what the future will hold. This is the 12th time they've broken up. Their relationship is volatile. Last week they felt better than ever. This week things are rocky. Who knows what the future will bring. Yikes. Now I can't imagine having your breakup be recorded and photographed. Moving on to Stephen Amell and Cassandra Jean Amell. After Stephen Amell and his wife Cassandra Jean Amell have been married since 2012, but they had an incident on a Delta trip from Austin to Los Angeles that resulted in the actor being removed from the plane, according to Page 6. Now, according to the story, Stephen was yelling at his wife on the plane and seemed to be inebriated when the flight attendant repeatedly requested for him to calm down. The actor, however, was removed from the flight by an air marshal and 3 flight attendants who took him off the plane while his wife remained on the flight destined to Los Angeles. Stephen felt compelled to inform his followers what occurred on Twitter after the event became public, explaining that he let his emotions get the best of him. He said, "My wife and I got into a fight on a Delta trip to Austin to Los Angeles on Monday afternoon. I was told to lower my voice, which I did. After about 10 minutes, I was ordered to exit the plane, and I did so right away. I let my emotions get the best of me, and that's the end of the tale. It has to be a sluggish news cycle." Then we have Megan McKenna and Pete Wicks. In March 2016, singer Megan McKenna joined the reality series The Only Way is Essex. Now, previous to her joining the cast, she and her castmate Pete Wicks were rumored to have been seeing each other. The couple started off their TV romance head over heels for each other, but with both of them having a tendency to lose their temper, things headed south quickly. Now, the relationship and failure of it became a major plot point of the show's 2017 season. About a week after the couple's tear-filled split aired on the show, the pair took the drama to the streets. Literally, in what the Sun described as an explosive row that threatened to turn violent. Although they were apparently shooting a scene for the reality series, things got so out of hand that production staffers eventually intervened and separated the exes, who were face to face, screaming at and manhandling one another. Although the reality stars just couldn't move past Pete's texting scandal, where he was caught sending racy messages to model Jackie Ryland during his time with Megan, they did seem to end up on friendly terms. They had a 2019 episode of Celebs Go Dating, and they even exchanged a kiss and briefly flirted. Now, I'm sure that fight was exaggerated for the cameras, but I'm glad it didn't get any crazier than that. Next up is Adrian Malouf and Sean Stewart. Rod Stewart's son, Sean Stewart, and the former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member, Adrian Malouf, dated for a few months in 2013, broke up, then briefly got back together before splitting for good. Now, TMZ spotted the pair fighting next to the red carpet at a charity event back in September 2013, and it seemed to signal the real end to their on-off relationship, as Adrian appeared at an event just a couple hours later with a much younger man, Jacob Bush, by her side. Now, Sean later claimed to Adrian's former Real Housewives co-star Brandi Glanville on her podcast, "I do want to clear up one rumor, she never broke my heart." Now, regardless of what happened, fighting on the red carpet is never a good look. And finally, we have Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. Co-stars Emma Roberts and Evan Peters had a toxic relationship to say the least. Now back in 2013, cameras caught the couple in the aftermath of a serious physical fight. The New York Daily News reported that on July 7th that year, Montreal police responded to a report of a domestic disturbance in a hotel room. They discovered Evan with a bloody nose and a bite mark and arrested Emma. Now Evan chose not to file charges against her, however, and the Paps caught a dramatic scene as a distraught Emma hugged him as the news made headlines. Afterwards, the pair told US Weekly in a statement, "It was an unfortunate incident and misunderstanding. Miss Roberts was released after questioning, and the couple are working together to move past it."
Number 10. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. The relationship between these two was long, rocky, and just full of drama. Kanye and Kim were together for 8 years before Kanye decided to be a maniac and post every single thought in his tiny little head on the internet. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we are discussing a verbal spat filmed by a professional camera for her show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kanye was voicing his opinions on Kim's upcoming appearance at the Met Gala. He makes comments basically saying that the outfit was just too revealing and that it physically upset him in his soul as a father of almost 4 kids to see his wife prepared to walk the red carpet in basically nothing. Kim snaps back by calling Kanye out as he was completely fine with the outfit the night before when she was having a full-blown panic attack about wearing it in the first place. There is some back and forth, and while this argument is small, it showcases the struggle that these two were actually having behind the scenes. This man was literally trying to tell Kim Kardashian what she can and can't wear. Had that worked out for you, Mr. Yee? Number 9. Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny. Earlier this year, the musician known as Bad Bunny was spotted on a night out with his boo-boo, Kendall, one of the youngest of the Kardashian clan. The two were seen together having a tiff at a Lakers game of all places. The two were sitting courtside wearing the skin of their enemies on their boots, aka snakeskin, and while the game was mostly filled with smiles and joy, there was a moment before the game got too heated where it looked like the couple may not be as close as we thought. In a short clip taken from the game, Bad Bunny leans in close to Kendall and whispers something that makes her face go from, "Ooh, I love basketball," to, "This is not the time or place." Now, at first the speculation was that there was an uncomfortable question asked and they moved on, but the way that Bunny's mouth is shaped is making many people speculate that he may have just been breathing and Kendall was getting a whiff of it. The rest of the game was fine and they had a good time, but their faces are never close to each other again. Coincidence? I think not. Number 8. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Despite only being back together for like maybe 2 years, these two have actually been caught in a tiff the most out of everyone on this list, and I did include Kim Kardashian. So there is a ton of footage from red carpet events and awards where the couple seems to be having heated arguments. While attending the premiere for J-Lo's movie The Mother, the couple were photographed and filmed on the red carpet having a very heated discussion that seemed like a fight as the moment cameras flashed, they popped back into smile mode. However, according to a lip reading expert, these two almost never fight, but they have the most sour faces when they're trying to kid around. The expert broke down this specific exchange, claiming that Jen simply asked Ben how she looked and he responded with, "You look fine!" The rest of the argument was just them being cute, with Ben constantly making sure that she was comfortable and asking her if she wanted him to be closer, to which she said yes please. This is an example of a couple who seem to be mad on camera, but turns out they're just both weirdos with really expressive faces. Number 7. Bradley Cooper and Irana Shayk. Bradley Cooper and Irana were a powerhouse couple in Hollywood. They dated for nearly 4 years before calling it quits in 2019. However, the two created many memories which fans fondly remember even today, and one of the most memorable was at a tennis tournament. Paparazzi caught what looked like a super awkward argument between Bradley Cooper and his model girlfriend Irana at the 2016 Wimbledon men's final. The video footage from that day shows Bradley whispering into his girlfriend's ear while she appears to cry and turn her head away from him. She appeared to be dabbing tears out of her eyes and then crossed her arms and refused to look at him. In this video, he then went back to watching the tennis game as she just sat there in silence beside him. Awkward! While it is not clear what the two were actually fighting about, it's obvious that Irana is not having a great day. Some suggested that the couple were fighting over his ex-girlfriend Suki Waterhouse. According to TMX, the situation was caused by severe pollen allergies, but that is the oldest excuse in the book. I get pollen allergies every time I watch the end of Coco. Number 6. Shia LaBeouf and Maya Goth. As Entertainment Tonight revealed, cameras caught the couple on video having a huge fight in July 2015 in, I'm gonna butcher this horribly, in Tübingen, Germany. The disturbing footage shows LaBeouf walking away from the argument and getting into a car with some locals, telling them that he didn't want to touch a woman, he didn't want to hit anybody, but he was being pushed. After Goth attempts to speak to him again, he can be heard saying once again that he doesn't want to touch anyone, and that it was these types of situations that made people violent. The argument was never actually specified, and many have been left wondering what specifically caused this tiff. Shia is a very passionate man, and that can cause him to fly off the rails a lot. It could have been anything that set him off. Regardless of what happened, the couple quickly worked out their differences, and Shia has called the moment embarrassing and uncharacteristic. They're still married to this day, but with Shia's reputation, who knows how long that's gonna last. Number 5. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. This was a brutal snub that was caught live on TV. The Prince and Meghan were watching a Lakers game from a corporate box. They were joined by other A-listers that night like Adam Sandler and Kim Kardashian. Now, this fight, snub slash situation type deal took place when the infamous kiss cam made its way up to Meghan and Harry's skybox. Now, it takes a moment for them to realize what's going on. When Harry goes in for a little smoochy, Meghan rejects him and then laughs the whole thing off. Harry is visibly confused before the cameras cut to the next couple. This awkward moment made many people question why Meghan's instinctual reaction was to giggle and push him away. Now, we understand not wanting to do any PDA on camera, but it's the kiss cam. You gotta do it, it's the law. Number 4. Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman. Simon and Lauren have been together for 8 years, and for the most part things seem to be okay. But in a heated exchange between himself and his ex, things were very different. Last year the couple were spotted walking their dog with their son Eric, and at the time of photographing, Lauren was actually pregnant. At one point the person photographing caught Simon walking in front of her in frustration. He then stopped and turned to say something to her with a face like thunder, according to the photographer. Some gestures are made before Simon gets on his phone in frustration. Now, they all continue to walk in the same direction, but not together, with Simon being seen as an angry man throughout the entire exchange. A spokesperson for Simon denied there ever being an altercation of any kind, but it's clear from the photos that were taken that something is not okay with these two. Number 3. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Kim Kardashian said she absolutely thinks she owes her ex-husband Kris an apology for how she handled their breakup. Kim opened up about her short-lived marriage to the former NBA player during part of one of her family's wide-ranging reunion specials with TV host Andy Cohen. It reflected on 20 seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The show ended after 14 years on air. During the conversation, Kim admitted that she felt pressured to go ahead with her wedding to Humphries in 2011 because they filmed it for Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and she didn't want to be known as one of those runaway brides forever, even though she had cold feet and just didn't want to do it in the first place. The couple were filmed on Keeping Up with the Kardashians several times, having verbal altercations, so it's no surprise that this marriage ended so quickly. I think the more shocking thing is that it happened in the first place. Nobody on the crew thought it was a little bit weird that the people fighting all the time were getting married. Who am I kidding? It was probably their favorite thing to film. Number 2. Kirsten Dunst and Garrett Hedlund. Even though this public fight was embarrassing, it seemed like the couple were able to shrug it off relatively quickly. I of course refer to the epic battle that took place between Kirsten and her on-the-road co-star Garrett Hedlund, who she had just recently started seeing. Although the actors had plenty in common and things started going well initially, cameras caught them having a major argument on their way to a movie theater, which was so intense that it looked like it was about much more than choosing Oppenheimer or Barbie. It appeared that something had sparked a pretty big fight as the pair continued to hurl insults at each other the entire way there. Whatever happened in the car that day, it was probably just a petty argument because they ended up dating for 4 more years. But sadly, like most good things in the world, the relationship came to an end in April in 2016. And at number 1, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Taking the top spot on this list was a 3-way altercation that actually didn't even involve Beyonce. Following the Met Gala in 2014 in an elevator created by fate itself, Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce and his sister-in-law Solange were caught on camera having a time and a half. The footage showed Solange getting right up into Jay-Z's face and kicking as the security team holds her back. During the altercation, Beyonce is actually seen standing with her arms crossed, all calm and collected, before she just starts picking things up that are falling from her sister's bag. Jay never swings or lays a hand on anyone, he simply tries to block her attacks, but he is no Cobra Kai, so his blocks didn't really work. Eventually, Beyonce steps between the two and diffused the situation. Now, it's never been confirmed by anyone what the fight was about. According to Solange, Jay said something inappropriate that set her off, as she's very protective of her sister. Now, in a joint joint statement from the three, they said that the incident was in the past. They are a family at the end of the day with their own drama. Anyone watching with close kids or parents definitely knows what I'm talking about. Hi, Mom!
Number 10. Kirsten Dunst and Garrett Hedlund. This is a great way to start off the list because even though this public fight was embarrassing, it seemed like the couple were able to shrug it off relatively quickly. We're going to talk about the epic couple fight that happened way back in 2012 between actress Kirsten Dunst and her on-the-road co-star Garrett Hedlund, who just recently started dating at the time. Although the actors had plenty in common and things started going well initially, cameras caught the couple having a major argument on their way to a movie theater, which was so intense it looked like it was about more than which movie they were seeing. It looked like something had sparked a pretty big fight as the pair continued to hurl insults at each other on the way. Whatever happened in the car that day, it was probably just a petty argument because they ended up dating for another 4 years. And in 2015, Kirsten said, quote, "We're the same age, we have similar backgrounds, he feels like family to me." But sadly, like most other good things, the relationship came to an end in April of 2016. Number 9. John Mayer and Jessica Simpson. If there's one thing that Hollywood knows by now, it's that John Mayer is a bit of a playboy. His reputation as a womanizer definitely precedes him, so that's why everyone at one point was really surprised to see him with Jessica Simpson. He raised eyebrows when he used the phrase sexual napalm to describe his romance with Simpson and even compared her to a certain illicit substance that he said he couldn't get enough of. The couple dated for a year, but they broke up several times throughout their relationship. In fact, sources close to the couple told people that things were always on and off between the pair and they had arguments constantly. Unfortunately, 2006 marked the year that they decided to finally split for good. The couple was on vacation in Mexico when there were photos snapped of them arguing on the balcony of their room. Jessica looked like she was in tears and it was undoubtedly a breakup. The news of their split came shortly after the photos were released, meaning there's a good chance that the paparazzi actually captured the moment when Jessica and John called things off for good. Number 8. Adrienne Maloof and Sean Stewart. Apart from their almost 20-year age difference, it seemed like there were a myriad of other issues that plagued the brief relationship between Rod Stewart's son, Sean Stewart, and former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member Adrienne Maloof. The couple split up after having a blowout fight on the red carpet. According to eyewitnesses, the duo arrived separately and Adrienne walked the red carpet with an even younger man, 24-year-old Jacob Bush. TMZ spotted the pair fighting next to the red carpet at the charity event, which definitely marked the end of their on-again, off-again relationship. The argument between them got heated and Sean could be seen storming off, telling his ex, "I'm done," when her date tried to approach him. Stewart later claimed to Brandy Glanville on her podcast, quote, "I do want to clear up one rumor. She never broke my heart." But when it came time to explain the bizarre public fight, the reality TV star only told Star Magazine, quote, "I have a lot of changes going on in my life. I went through a period of darkness and I am much happier now than ever. Things are good." Number 7. Bradley Cooper and Irina Shayk. Bradley Cooper and Irina Shayk were one of the power couples in Hollywood. The two dated for nearly 4 years before calling it quits in 2019. However, the two have created many memories which fans fondly remember, even one of them at the famed tennis tournament. Paparazzi caught what looked like a super awkward argument between actor Bradley Cooper and his model girlfriend at the 2016 Wimbledon's men final. In the video footage from that day, Bradley was caught whispering into Irina's ear while she appears to cry and turn her head away from the actor. She appeared to be dabbing tears out of her eyes and then crossed her arms and refused to look at him. In the video, he then went back to watching the tennis and she just sat in silence beside him. While it's not clear why the two were really fighting or what they could have been possibly fighting about, but that didn't stop people online from speculating wildly the way the internet loves to do. Some even suggested that Bradley and Irina were fighting over his ex-girlfriend Suki Waterhouse. Although it feels like you can almost cut the tension with a knife, TMZ later reported that sources close to the couple claimed Irina was simply battling pollen allergies. Well, it really could have been anything. Number 6. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. The stars were photographed having a very emotional moment inside a car prior to their divorce. Back in 2016, the pair were arguing in their SUV after dropping their 3 children at school when things started to get really heated. Just looking at the picture that has been circulated online, you can tell that Jennifer was getting very frustrated with whatever Ben was saying, and she proceeded to make hand gestures throughout the argument, probably because she felt like she wasn't being heard. At one point, she can actually be seen breaking down in tears inside the vehicle. But this instance wasn't a one-off, and recently it seems like Ben has a lot of explaining to do. The 49-year-old was caught earlier this year puffing on his cigarette fiercely while appearing to be in another fight with Jennifer on the streets of Los Angeles. The exes appeared to be locked in a heated conversation outside her car just hours after it was revealed that Ben and his now fiancée Jennifer Lopez bought a $50 million home together. The pair rekindled their relationship in April last year, almost immediately after she ended her engagement with Alex Rodriguez. So the timing is definitely interesting. Number 5. Jessie Nelson and Jake Roche. When the former couple arrived together at the album release party for Little Mix's Get Weird in 2015, they were supposed to be in high spirits for the event. But the evening soon took a turn for the worst, as somehow it ended up with Jessie crying. It was reported that Jessie allegedly had a massive fight with her then fiancé before she decided she had had enough and stormed out. A source told the Daily Mirror newspaper that the girls had been having a great night, drinking and even dancing on the tables the whole night until the early hours. But somewhere around the AM, Jessie and Jake had a tiff, and Jake stomped off to a nearby hotel, and Jessie was clearly sobbing and she took a cab home. The singer was spotted leaving the venue in London and hopping into a cab in the early hours of the morning with makeup smudged around her face and eyes bloodshot after the fight. The couple announced their split the following year, so it looked like in this case the fight may have been indicative of a larger issue in their relationship. According to reports, the reason they split was because Jessie wanted to start a family, but Jake, who was only 24, felt that he was too young to be a father and that they had the rest of their lives to have children. Number 4. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Their infamous on and off again relationship was definitely not free from arguments, and some of them were caught on camera. Right before Selena and Justin got on a plane to Paris, they got into a huge fight while at Princess Juliana International Airport in St. Martin, and unfortunately it looked like a massive one. In the video, we see Justin and Selena sitting in their car outside the airport in St. Martin before their Paris flight. Selena storms out of the car, walks into the airport by herself and throws her bag on the floor. Justin didn't immediately follow her, instead he chose to sit in the car for a little bit, which probably made her even more mad. When he did enter a few minutes later, she was chatting with a fan that had a baby, and Justin came over and they silently walked to their flight. You could tell both of them were equally frustrated, but in 2014, this was only one of the many public fights that the couple would go on to have. In fact, after their romantic trip, they went to Paris Fashion Week, which led to more arguing because Justin reportedly went to dinner with Kendall Jenner and partied with her at the same party that Selena was at. She flew out the next morning alone, leaving Justin in Paris, and then deleted him off Instagram. Number 3. Johnny McGade and Courtney Cox. These two are also known for their on-again, off-again relationship, and after getting back together once again after a brief split, the actress and her musician boyfriend were seen arguing outside a West London restaurant and appeared to be exchanging heated words as they dined outside during Courtney's visit to the British capital. In one shot, the former Friends actress can be seen waving her arms and phone in front of Johnny's face, while in another she looks frustrated as she held her head in her hands. Not long after, she gave her then fiancé the silent treatment before getting to her feet to leave the restaurant. For some background, the pair have been engaged, unengaged, and living separately for the majority of their relationship, even though they've been together for 7 years. And so this argument really fueled rumors of more relationship problems. The argument was reportedly about the couple planning their nuptials when they started fighting about the finer details, and insiders told reporters that the couple couldn't agree where they would live, as Johnny supposedly wanted to move back to the UK and Courtney wanted to remain in LA. Number 2. Christopher Hivju and Guy Mulvere. If you forget about about Season 8, Game of Thrones was really an epic TV series that took over the world as soon as Season 1 hit and made several of its stars household names. Norwegian actor Christopher was one of the stars who appeared in the series over the years, but it was his public fight with his wife, Gry, who is a photographer, that really got people talking. They say that redheads are known for their temper, so it seems like these two are really perfect for each other. The couple were spotted having a heated argument as they were shopping in Los Angeles, as Gry had reportedly been looking for a new dress. No one really knows what the fight was about, but onlookers claimed that their argument lasted for over an hour and escalated very quickly. During the fight, you can see the actor raises his hands in the air in frustration, while his wife, who looks incredibly distraught, has her eyes to the ground the whole time. The fight continued before they both stormed off. Just goes to show you how celebrities are normal people too. Number 1, Shia LaBeouf and Carolyn Foe. Yes, he is back on the list because the actor has a seriously extensive track record of public spats. Shia LaBeouf is fairly well known for his outlandish behavior, where he frequently just takes it way too far by getting kicked out of a performance of Cabaret or being arrested for public drunkenness in 2017. But this fight dates back to 2012 when he and his then girlfriend Carolyn were caught fighting on camera and having a tearful exchange on the side of the road in LA. It was then that rumors started circulating about the extent of Shia's involvement in the sex scenes in Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac, which were reportedly real. So naturally his girlfriend would be upset. She did not seem too thrilled that her actor boyfriend Shia had shared an intimate scene with his co-star in the movie. But Carolyn was pretty quick to deny the fight, telling the New York Daily News, quote, "It's none of anybody's business. Everything is fine with us. It was nothing affiliated with this movie." Although that might be true, clearly something had caused the couple to have a public screaming match on the side of the road in broad daylight. And just like that, in November the same year, the couple had officially decided to split for good.
Starting off our list at number 10 today, we have Beyonce and Jay-Z. Back in January of 2015, Beyonce and Jay-Z had anything but a quiet sushi night, as the megastar couple was captured getting into it at Sushi Park restaurant in Los Angeles. In released photos, Beyonce could be seen yelling at her husband. And later, OK Magazine would then speculate that the altercation happened because Jay-Z's non-stop cell phone use during dinner. However, like many mysteries and the fact that the couple usually tends to keep their private life, pretty private, no one can say for sure what the two may have been arguing about. However, this wouldn't be the couple's first public fight, since back in 2014, the couple had an infamous elevator incident that first brought potential difficulties in their relationship to light, and both have explored marital conflict in their albums 444 and Lemonade respectively. But it seems like all is well now, as they continue to gush about each other in interviews. And back in 2017, Jay-Z also said he was really proud of the art Beyonce was releasing, and he also noted that she was amazing. Coming in number 9, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. Just before Emma Roberts and Evan Peters split for good, the American Horror Story co-stars in 2013 were caught on camera while they had a pretty serious physical fight. While it may have seemed at the time that the two were actually a perfect couple in Hollywood, it was anything but perfect. When the two stars started to make headlines after they had a pretty public fight in Montreal, the New York Daily News would then report that the Montreal police had to attend to the scene after people called in a domestic situation. When the police showed up to the couple's hotel room, they would find Evan with a handful of injuries, which included a bloody nose and a bite mark. The police then opted to arrest Emma on the scene, even after Evan chose not to file charges against her. Although Emma was released, the paparazzi would then capture her breaking down when she learned the news had reached the media. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. When Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth posed at the LA premiere of the Avengers Endgame in 2019, their red carpet smiles didn't last too long, as the two widely displayed their different styles and tensions between them were pretty palpable. When Miley couldn't stop talking about how she wanted to let her hair down and have a crazy fun night out, Liam was there to support his brother Chris and was hoping to have a fairly chilled evening. And it appears neither of them would end up leaving the red carpet happy at the end of the night, as Miley did Miley, as she was seen vamping it up for photographers, and her Aussie actor hubby at the time grew increasingly uncomfortable, resulting in the famous duo getting into their first major fight as a married couple. And you could even see Liam at one point on the red carpet telling Miley to behave. After the two then walked off the red carpet, Liam would then angrily accuse Miley of turning the premiere into the Miley show, and once the couple got home, a source would then reveal that they got into a big fat argument. And then jump to the day, Miley wrote a song called Flowers that highlights their relationship and how it was never perfect. And it's been #1 on the billboards for the last 3 weeks, and she even took a jab at Liam in the music video by wearing the suit he wore that night on the red carpet. At #7 we have Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Before Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck decided to go their separate ways, the world was pretty shocked to learn that their marriage was anything but perfect. While there were plenty of rumors in 2015 that suggested Ben had been unfaithful in their marriage with the family's former nanny, after the couple returned home from vacation, a fight would break out shortly after, and this is when they dropped their 3 children off at school. Onlookers would then tell In Touch that Jennifer and Ben were in their SUV when things started to get a little out of hand. They even started to claim that there was lots of gesturing through it all, and the photos and videos captured, you could see Jennifer crying. This is when people started to believe that Ben was making it clear that their marriage was over and that he was going forward with the divorce. #6, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. At one point in time, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were Hollywood's it couple, and you couldn't turn around without seeing them mentioned somewhere in the street. But it seems like after the couple filed for divorce and went their separate ways, they have been hitting headlines for some pretty serious accusations. Before the couple ultimately decided to part ways, they would be spotted at Legoland in Windsor, and they would be spotted coming off this ride with their children, and the couple could be seen getting into a pretty serious argument where Brad would be shown touching Angelina's arm before she pulled away and decided to shout in the actor's face while they were in public. The people who captured the photos then said they saw the couple again later, and they looked like they were still arguing sometime later. #5, Channing Tatum and Jenna Dawen. While it seems to be a trend of couples meeting on the set of movies and getting together and becoming couples, Channing Tatum and Jenna Dawen were no exception, as the pair started dating shortly after they worked together on the iconic dance movie Step Up. Although it looked like things were going extremely well for the pair, they would show the world that there were signs that things were off for months before they announced their divorce. Jenna would even open up about the couple's last months together in their relationship in her book. This is when she would claim that the two were only hurting each other by staying together. Also leading up to the couple's divorce, the couple were often seen sharing words out in public before heading out and getting snapped by the media in several photos. And after the public arguments, it would seem like Jenna would rather look at her cell phone than talk to Channing. #4, Blueface and Krishan Rock. Lately it seems like Blueface and his girlfriend Krishan keep making headlines for all the wrong reasons. If you've been online for the past few months, then you probably have seen the viral videos and tweets of the rappers going viral with the rise of the couple's reality show Crazy in Love. However, while some users view the relationship as entertaining, I think we can collectively agree that their relationship is pretty toxic, as we have seen the two enter into some pretty concerning altercations. The problem with the two is not only that the relationship is dangerous, but it's also harmful for the immediate parties around them. While it seems like Krishan is the main reason behind the couple's toxic relationship, she would go into an interview to come out to address the public's concern about her relationship by saying, "We're just here learning, figuring things out. We met each other how we met each other, but that's it." However, now that Krishan has announced her pregnancy with Blueface, things are only going to get more messy going forward, and that's what is the most concerning part for their fans watching. #3, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. Like any couple, it's no secret that Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman have endured their fair share of issues throughout their relationship. After all, Keith has used some of their disagreements as inspiration for his songs. While the couple often tends to keep their disagreements away from the media, back in 2016 when Nicole was captured giving her husband a look that no husband wants to see, the internet would go into a frenzy while while they tried to figure out what happened. The confrontation would happen when they were at a movie premiere. Insiders would then tell the Daily Mail that things took a turn when Keith got upset over the couple's very busy schedules as they had spent the year apart. Apparently, Keith wanted to return to Australia to be with their family, but Nicole, on the other hand, was just really sick of Keith sulking about them being apart, and she just wanted him to be with her and support her career. Number 2, Rihanna and Chris Brown. Back in the day, Rihanna and Chris Brown had a relationship that made us all raise our eyebrows. Eventually, during their relationship, after headlines started to show that Chris got into a physical altercation with Rihanna, he would eventually be arrested and charged, and eventually the stars would also call off their relationship. Just before, the couple was at a pre-Grammy party when they started arguing in a car. Later, Rihanna would then open up about the altercation in an interview with Diane Sawyer. There, she would claim that their altercation started after Rihanna saw a text from a girl on Chris's phone. Rihanna then said that she knew he was lying and that he knew he had nowhere to turn. However, Rihanna would then go on to note that there had been warning signs that something bad was going to happen long before the incident. Apparently, the more the couple fell in love, the more they both started to realize how dangerous they were for another. Today, Rihanna has used her experience to help other young women going through similar situations. Number 1, Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf. Just before Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf decided to split, they had quite a habit of getting caught on camera having these really public fights. Just before the two started dating, Shia actually met and fell in love with Mia Goth on a set of their movie, and eventually they decided to walk down the aisle. While the couple has now gone on their separate ways, they were involved in some pretty high profile and public fights while they were in Germany. In a viral video in 2015, the two could be seen screaming at each other. The footage in that video would then show Shia walking away from the scene and getting into a car as he explains that he didn't want to hurt Mia. Then a source would confirm that apparently when Mia tried to talk to Shia again, he would then respond to Mia by saying he was being pushed and he didn't want to be aggressive.
First off, we have Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. Try to find one person in your life who thought Tom and Katie made a cute couple. Spoiler alert, you won't. From Cruise's cringe-worthy couch jumping antics on the Oprah show to Katie's revelation that she'd had a crush on Tom as a little girl when Tom was in his late 20s. There was nothing sweet about this odd, icky pairing. Both fans and Hollywood elite alike were left scratching their heads, wondering what could have drawn them together. There actually were whispers it was a prearranged marriage, complete with signed contracts. And let's not forget about the dark specter looming in the background since day one: Scientology. In their 5 years together, Katie, once a bubbly TV star riding high after a starring role on Dawson's Creek, became quiet and passive alongside her more famous spouse. Years after the high-stakes divorce settlement and custody battle over their daughter Siri, we still don't know the full story of what went on behind closed doors. Next up, we have Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Once a couple 20 years ago, they're now back together and fans are annoyed. Ben is reportedly annoyed with Jennifer currently after her new movie about their love life was recently released on Prime Video. Insiders told The Heat that Affleck was reportedly scared that J-Lo's new film, This Is Me Now, would ruin his career, and apparently that fear has not dissipated. There is a very real risk that this film will not get the reaction she's expecting. Ben's been complaining to friends this could end up being Geely 2.0, they said. It will be especially embarrassing for him considering the career that he's built up and how seriously he takes on his projects. He's scared he's made a big mistake getting involved. This is the second project that they have worked on together, and since Geely was so panned by critics, receiving a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes and losing over $60 million at the box office, it seems as though Affleck has been worried about the same treatment, and it allegedly has been causing problems in their marriage. J-Lo's new 65-minute musical was released on February 16th, 2024 and has received some seriously mixed reviews. While it was dubbed the worst movie of the century by the Wall Street Journal, the reviews are actually a lot more positive on Rotten Tomatoes with a 74% reviewer to tomato meter. Next up, we have Kylie and Timothée Chalamet. The pair seems like a happy couple going viral in January for their Golden Globes appearance, but rumors have been swirling that Timothée and Kylie have been suffering relationship issues. Timothée posted alongside Zendaya at the Dune 2 red carpet in South Korea earlier this week. He donned a gray jumpsuit and pouted at the cameras. Zendaya matched the actor and donned a pink jumpsuit. Fans noticed that Timothée seemed to look somber while posing, and fans flocked to Reddit to discuss their thoughts. Somebody schedule a wellness check for Chalamet, one user says. Another saying, can we stop giving these people more attention? They are a bunch of talentless, greedy culture vultures who are helping destroy our planet. And before anybody comes for me, I'm not a Timothée fan either. He is an overhyped mayo man, in my opinion. Next up, we have Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater. Just because we learned that Ariana is dating her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater a mere 3 days after news broke that Grande was splitting from her husband Dalton Gomez, doesn't mean the timeline was equally as rushed in real life, right? Well, according to sources, it appears Grande was still working on her relationship with Gomez when she flew to the UK to film the musical movie Wicked in December 2022, though a source told Us Weekly that the couple were having issues and the distance did not help. Meanwhile, Grande's alleged new boyfriend, who is known for playing SpongeBob SquarePants on Broadway and will also be playing the Munchkin Bach in Wicked, was also in a committed relationship when the filming began. In fact, Ethan Slater had been married to his high school sweetheart Lily J since 2018 and welcomed his first child with her sometime in 2022. Rumors that Ariana and Ethan had been cheating on their partners began circling, and fans are not having it. One Reddit user wrote, quote, "She is a 30-year-old grown woman. Zero excuses for being a homewrecker. That man had a newborn baby. Selfish beyond measure." Adding, a newborn and wife whom Ariana hung out with on multiple couples outings. The wife considered Ariana a friend. Another user wrote a detailed thread on the situation saying, quote, "For the past couple years, she'll do anything to preserve her happiness at any cost, even when it's messed up. It was inevitable that she was going to get divorced before she got married, and she has a long pattern of not being able to be single and going from one guy to the next. The one time she was single, she threw herself into work, and as soon as her tour was over, she was with somebody else. The Ethan Slater thing is messed up and inexcusable because of the fact he has a child. I genuinely believe that the biggest root of all of it, not even her unresolved trauma, is the fact that all the people in her life, whether it's her team of 10 plus years, her stage mom, or her half-brother, they all rely on her and are thus always supportive yes men. Our next hated Hollywood couple is Justin and Hailey Bieber. Fans want Selena back. Even Hailey wants Selena, it seems. In a string of tweets from a decade ago, Hailey expressed her happiness for Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez's relationship, and now, reading those tweets back, it's a bit awkward. Some of Hailey's tweets include, "Selena Gomez is so cute, don't argue, bye." And "I'm for sure 100% team #Jelena." Another of her tweets read, "Seriously though, she's beyond flawless and he's Bieber. They are the perfect relationship. I am forever alone." Next we have Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. While they have been friends for years, it wasn't until July 2019 when Shawn and Camila announced they were officially dating. The couple had already collaborated on several hit songs together, including their smash hit Señorita, and it seemed as if working on music so frequently is what eventually led them to form a relationship. But since going public with their romance, fans have not been convinced their pairing is genuine, with many speculating whether the whole thing was just one big PR stunt to further promote their careers. Given that they've had a lot of success with their collaborations, pairing up and telling the world a relationship came out of their frequent studio sessions isn't that hard to believe, but fans have plenty of reasons to believe this romance is nothing but smoke and mirrors. Once their second single, Señorita, was released in June 2019, both singers appeared very affectionate towards each other, both on stage and behind the scenes. The following weeks, Camila and Sean were seen everywhere, sharing plenty of date nights as their song continued to climb up the charts, eventually reaching the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100 and selling well over 4 million units in the US alone. By July, the pair went public with their romance, but it was not long before people started speculating whether their supposed love for one another was a PR stunt to help push sales. Fans on social media were quick to voice their opinions about the news of Camila and Sean dating, with one person saying, which was the worst attempt at a fake relationship PR stunt to promote a collab? Zed dating Selena Gomez or Sean dating Camila? Another writing, are you guys done promoting Señorita yet? Next up, we have Jessie James and Sandra Bullock. Sandra was already one of the world's highest paid actresses. In 2013, she got paid $70 million for the movie Gravity. So I'm sure ex Jessie James wanted in on those riches. Jessie and Sandra's almost 5-year marriage went down in absolute flames when the world found out he had cheated on her with not one, not two, but over 3 women. And as of 2017, it sounds like he still does not think it's such a big deal. In general, both women and men cheat. It's part of life, he told the Daily Mail. Okay, we have a feeling Sandra would disagree. Next up, we have Miley Cyrus and Luke Hemsworth. Fans think they initially got together to promote their new movie. Cyrus and Hemsworth met in 2009 on the set of The Last Song, the movie adaptation of the popular Nicholas Sparks novel. Shortly after filming Wrapped, the two confirmed their romance when they had a PDA-filled goodbye at the airport. Actor Alex Emanuel, who watched their full-on makeout, said the ultra-romantic exchange was like a scene out of an old movie where the guy is getting on a train and they're saying their goodbyes. After an on and off relationship for 10 years and the actors getting married, they finally split up in 2019. Miley Cyrus's rep exclusively confirms to People that the couple had split. Quote, Liam and Miley have agreed to separate at this time, the rep said. 3 days later, Hemsworth addressed the separation in an Instagram post, writing, just a quick note to say that Miley and I have recently separated. I wish her nothing but health and happiness going forward. Next up, we have Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. The pair is still seen together co-parenting on The Kardashians, their show, but fans think Khloe needs to be stricter with him after he was caught cheating on her not once but 2 separate times. Lastly, we have Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton. Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton's relationship began with the actor cheating on his girlfriend, Laura Dern. From there, the couple proceeded to wear each other's blood in vials around their necks and show off major PDA on the red carpet, all of which turned fans off.
Number 10. Nigella Lawson and Charles Saatchi. The couple's fight was witnessed by a photographer who stumbled upon celebrity chef Nigella Lawson being choked by none other than her husband, Britain's most high-profile figure, Charles Saatchi. The incident all went down during her birthday lunch, and a now infamous photo was captured of the chilling sight. The photographer, who only went by the name Jean-Paul, told Vanity Fair in 2013 that when Charles grabbed his wife's throat, quote, it was so violent with such force that her head snapped backward. The story hit the tabloids at full speed and actually served to open up a much-needed conversation about domestic violence. Their relationship was obviously far from perfect, but the intense controversy that the incident sparked was enough to tear them apart forever. That same year, Charles filed for divorce from Nigella after 10 years of marriage. Funnily enough, he later told the Daily Mail that putting his hands on her throat was merely a gesture and insisted that there was no pressure applied to her. Yeah, right. Number 9. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Their 72-day marriage had certainly shown signs that it was going to end quickly. A few days before Kim divorced Kris on day 68, the couple was spotted arguing in their car while out on a dinner date in Hollywood. The newlywed couple were photographed heading back to Kim's car after after dinner and you could visibly see the tension in the air. Kris looked fed up and Kim was giving her new husband the death stare while yelling and waving her hands at him as the argument began to escalate. This very public fight was indicative that their relationship was on the rocks because that same year Kim went on to file for divorce and got the marriage annulled. The Los Angeles Times even reported that Kim had only married him to increase ratings on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The best part was that Kris asked for a $7 million divorce settlement from his ex-wife. Otherwise, he threatened to make her endure an ugly public trial. But the NBA star ended up walking away with literally nothing. Number 8. Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. The American Horror Story actors first met on the set of Adult World in 2012, and in the short 4 years since then, the two have shared more drama than some of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters. Toxic doesn't even begin to describe their relationship. We're talking about at least 3 breakups and deleting all social media traces of each other. Early on in their relationship, TMZ reported that the two got into a heated argument while staying at a hotel in Montreal that ended up with both stars getting physical. When police arrived, Peters was found with a bloody nose and bite marks on his body, prompting police to take Emma into custody, arresting her for domestic violence. But her then boyfriend decided not to press charges and they were back together a few hours later. What's really bizarre is that a couple of days after the fight, photos were shared online of Emma clinging to Evan while sobbing into his arms after news broke of the fight. Paparazzi were even able to capture the two hugging one another, with Emma looking extremely upset the whole time. The incident was a bit of a grey area, but many have labeled it as straight up domestic violence. Number 7. Stephen Amell and Cassandra Jean Amell. The couple have been married since 2012 and all seemed well in public until it didn't. The star of CW's Arrow and his wife got into an altercation on a Delta flight from Austin to Los Angeles that ended up with the actor having to be forcibly removed from the flight. Stephen was reportedly screaming at Cassandra while they were seated on the plane and appeared to be intoxicated when a flight attendant asked him to calm down multiple times. When the fight escalated to the point of no return, the actor had to be restrained and removed by an air marshal and 3 flight attendants that worked together to get him off the plane. His wife did not go with him and instead chose to remain on the flight. Big surprise there. With the incident made public, Stephen took to Twitter to try and explain the whole thing and claimed that his emotions got the better of him. Quote, "My wife and I got into an argument. I was asked to lower my voice and I did. Approximately 10 minutes later, I was asked to leave the flight and I did so immediately. I was not forcibly removed." The whole thing was really absurd because if they needed 4 people to get him off the flight, something about his side of the story just doesn't add up. Number 6. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Before the former couple split, their relationship was clearly becoming strained, as The Sun reported that the same year that Jolie filed for divorce, they were spotted in Legoland having a major public spat. Onlookers told the magazine that both stars didn't look happy and looked stern-faced, and photos from the incident show Brad actually grabbing Angelina's arm while she pulls away and appears to be screaming at him. The couple filed for divorce in 2016, citing irreconcilable differences. Now the actors are both learning to co-parent their 6 children after years of custody battles and child support drama. According to Daily Mail, Brad has even been seen visiting Angelina's house to spend time with his kids, so it sounds like they are back on good terms. Number 5. Rihanna and Hassan Jameel. The former couple seemed like they were perfect for each other after rumors swirled that the two were engaged in 2017. Although they managed to keep their relationship very private and didn't post many photos together on social media, photos emerged of the two on a trip to Mexico in 2018 that left many fans wondering if they were done for good. The paparazzi captured photos that painted a picture of Rihanna screaming at her former billionaire boyfriend and angrily pointing her finger at him while they were on the poolside. What's interesting about the photos is that in comparison to Rihanna, Jameel looked very calm and almost passive in the argument, which made the whole thing go viral. Because of all the noise online, the singer took to Instagram and posted a meme of a female lion roaring at a male lion with the caption, quote, "When you think you know more about soccer, #World Cup 2018. But even though she had a good sense of humor about the fight, the couple still ended up splitting up in 2020 because allegedly their lives were just too different and it was too hard to maintain a relationship. Number 4. Nicholas Hoult and Jennifer Lawrence. The couple fell in love with each other when they first met on the set of the X-Men movie series and became co-stars. Jennifer played Mystique and Nicholas portrayed Beast. It all seemed to be going well for the pair until they suddenly split in 2014 after dating for nearly 5 years. They did have a really public fight, however, when they were once spotted arguing during a dinner. According to reports, the former couple was at a restaurant together when they started really getting into it. Witnesses claim that the actress was upset about something and even threw her hands into the air at one point. Nicholas apparently also got very frustrated as he started shouting at her. Jennifer had apparently had enough with him and broke down as he stormed out of the restaurant. Seems like it was a bit of a mess, but it's great that the former couple have since been able to move on with their respective partners. Number 3. Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman. This was not just one explosive fight, but actually several. The lid was really blown off the couple's relationship problems when paparazzi captured photos of them in March last year having a tense argument while walking with their son Eric. According to The Sun, passerbys noticed that the X Factor judge had a face like thunder, and their arguing was so loud almost everyone could hear them. In fact, it was reportedly so bad that Lauren got fed up and had to walk away from Simon, while the former American Idol judge decided to cross the road to the other side to put some distance between them, and he walked the rest of the way on the other side of the street. But that wasn't the first time that the pair had a fight in public. In fact, back in 2013, the couple were seen shouting at each other inside a car in New York City. They were even photographed in the middle of an altercation while sitting in the back of an SBU in broad daylight with their windows down. Simon had his hands in the air and Lauren looked like she was crying. I guess it goes to show you that celebrities really are just normal people. Number 2. Beyonce and Jay-Z. Yes, I'm about to talk about the infamous sushi fight. So in 2016, the paparazzi caught the power couple dining at a sushi park restaurant in LA. And from the photos which surfaced online, we can tell that they really got into it. It showed them having anything but a pleasant sushi date. Beyonce was yelling and waving her finger at Jay-Z while he looked like he was glued to his phone the whole time. They say that it's rude to use your phone at dinner, but even worse, he just seems like he wasn't listening to her at all. The truth is, we'll never know what started the public argument, but it wasn't the first intense fight that they've ever been in. This all took place 2 years after the bizarre elevator fight at the 2014 Met Gala between Jay-Z and Beyonce's sister Solange, when she started attacking him by punching and kicking him in an elevator, all while the bodyguards eventually had to restrain her. It was really quite funny because Beyonce was just standing there and watching it all unfold. The three artists did make a joint statement about the incident, which read, quote, "They both have apologized to each other and we have moved forward as a united family." And coming in at number 1, Shia LaBeouf and Mia Goth. The controversial actor Shia LaBeouf has had some seriously messed up allegations brought against him in recent years, but this fight was just so bizarre that it deserves a place on the list. The actor and his former longtime girlfriend Mia Goth, who has recently starred in the horror movie X, got into a heated altercation in Germany in 2015 that was all captured on video. The argument occurred on the streets and got so bad that a few locals had to intervene. Shia was heard shouting, quote, "I don't want to touch a woman, I don't want to hit a woman, but I'm being pushed." He then got into a random person's car and had them drive him to the airport. He later told that same person that if he had stayed there, then he would have taken her life. But they seem to have made up after the fight and even got married in 2016 in Las Vegas, only to split up 2 years later. The relationship was probably a complicated one because in 2020, People magazine reported that the pair was spotted together wearing wedding rings. Hopefully they parted for good because they seem to be extremely toxic together.
First off, we have the 2024 Grammys. While Jay-Z was accepting his award, he took his mic time to look at his wife Beyonce in the audience and ask the Grammys why they have never given her album of the year. People were stunned, and so was Beyonce. Body language expert Judy James told The Mirror that Beyonce tried to hide her facial expressions with her white hat during her husband's acceptance speech. The expert believes that, quote, "A loyal husband can be a dangerous thing, no matter how much they show love, plus an intrinsic drive to defend and protect." Judy shared that most women of today's era would prefer to stand up for themselves. Quote, you can argue Jay-Z has his heart somewhere in the right place in terms of velour, but Beyonce's frozen-looking symmetric smile seems to hint that she might just be feeling as mortified as many women would. She added, Judy shared, moaning about not getting an award means next year's awards will be poignant for Beyonce. If she fails again, she'll be hurt. But if she wins it, the hint will be that Jay-Z nailed it for her, rather than her own talent. Beyonce holds the record of winning the most Grammys ever, however, she has never received the Album of the Year award. Next up, we have Jay-Z's cheating scandal. In 2013, rumors came out that the rapper had been cheating, and then there was #ElevatorGate that trended when Solange Knowles attacked Jay-Z while sister Beyonce stayed silent. More recently, Jay-Z's album 444 alluded to him being unfaithful. He wrote, "Look, I apologize, often womanized, took for my child to be born to see through a woman's eyes." The rapper and Beyonce had planned to do a joint album, but ended up doing solo records instead. "We were using our art mostly like a therapy session, and we started making music together. And then the music she was making at that time was further along. So her album came out as opposed to the joint album that we were working on." Next up, we have the Lance Rivera situation. In 1999, Jay-Z was arrested for, let's just call this, putting a knife into the young record executive Lance Rivera. Jay-Z believed Rivera distributed bootlegged copies of his then unreleased album, The Life and Times of S. Carter, which was not supposed to hit stores until later. After committing the crime, Jay-Z turned himself into the police, accompanied by his lawyer. A witness to the altercation said Jay-Z walked up to Rivera and said, "Lance, you broke my heart." Rivera responded with, "What?" before Jay-Z pulled out the knife, according to the witness. Jay-Z pled guilty and faced a 3-year sentence of probation. Next, we have the fact that Jay-Z was a substance dealer, we'll call it, in his teenage years. Speaking to Vanity Fair, Jay-Z opened up about his past, admitting that he was dealing substances to make ends meet. "It was everywhere. It was inescapable. There wasn't any place you could go for isolation or a break," he said in an interview. "You go in the hallway, there are people using in the hallway. You look out in the puddles on the curbs, everywhere." Jay-Z admitted that while he made a living selling substances, he never once used them. Jay-Z claimed that he did learn some of the business practices he does today from his time dealing the substances. "I know about budgets. I was a dealer. To be in a deal, you need to know what you can spend, what you need to re-up." Next up, let's talk about Jay-Z suing Rita Ora for alleging that she still owed 4 more albums. Famous singer Rita Ora was sued by Jay-Z's album label Roc Nation, with Ora alleging the company lost interest after they focused their attention on other ventures such as streaming service Tidal and also a sports management company. Roc Nation's claimed they sunk millions into Rita's career and that she owes them 4 more albums. Ora signed with Roc Nation in 2008 while she was an unknown artist and agreed to deliver 5 albums and has only produced 1. Ora's attorney Howard King said Jay-Z promised Ora, quote, total freedom from the label. In a statement, King believes that Sony Music made Roc Nation file the action to preserve whatever rights Sony had. Roc Nation alleged it was a breach of contract and they demanded $2 million plus be given back along with unspecified damages for the 4 undelivered albums. The lawsuit was settled between the two parties, with Rita Ora possibly signing with a new music label. Next, let's discuss Jay-Z being arrested for gun possession. In April of 2001, Jay-Z and 3 other men were arrested outside a Manhattan nightclub and held on charges of illegal gun possession. Police said that Jay-Z was detained when his bodyguard Hamza Hewitt was allegedly found with a firearm in his waistband. Hewitt, Jay-Z, and 2 other individuals were all charged with 3rd-degree criminal possession. The case was delayed until October 2001 when Jay-Z entered a plea of not guilty and was found not to have been part of the possession, but did face 3 years probation for his 1999 incident with Rivera, which we just talked about. Jay-Z also went under fire for his decision to host his famous Oscars after party in 2022 at the controversial Chateau Marmont Hotel. Every year, the rapper hosts one of the starriest parties of the night, known as the Gold Party, with attendees in previous years including Rihanna, Reese Witherspoon, Kanye West, and Kim Kim K. His last party, which was held pre-pandemic in 2020, was at the Chateau Marmont. But Jay-Z's plans to throw the 2022 event in a lounge space at the Sunset Strip Hotel have been met with criticism due to an ongoing boycott of the property by some of its workers and celebrity guests over alleged racial discrimination at the venue. Kurt Peterson, the boss of workers union Unite Here Local, said in a statement, quote, "For Jay-Z to choose the Chateau Marmont for their gold party is shockingly insensitive. They must move their event and choose an after-party hotspot that treats its workers, especially black women, with dignity and respect. Jay-Z has a responsibility to do better," he added. "We hope Jay-Z joins Gabrielle Union, Issa Rae, Quinta Brunson, Ashley Nicole Black in boycotting Chateau Marmont." The union even organized a picket line outside the bash beginning at 8 p.m. the night of the party. In 2020, The Hollywood Reporter published an investigation of allegations against the Chateau Marmont, with employees claiming that Black and Latino visitors were stopped and questioned when they were arrived more than white guests, claims that were confirmed by a representative for comedian Tiffany Haddish. The Chateau's law firm said at the time that workplace issues are regularly raised, as at any business, and swiftly investigated and addressed, adding that a whistleblower line is in place for employees to report issues or concerns directly to outside integrity counsel. Next, let's discuss 4040, Jay-Z's old nightclub. His nightclub 4040 was reported to have bounced checks. In 2003, reports claimed that two companies filed separate lawsuits against Jay-Z's nightclub for a total of $46,000 in unpaid bills to the two businesses that complained, claiming that they received rubber checks from 21's Inc., the rapper's company. Ronald Mark Associates was to be paid $18,000 for manufacturing 30 custom tables, but only received $5,000. Ron Berkowitz, a spokesman for 4040, downplayed the allegations, claiming the bouncing checks are a bum rap. Berkowitz said one suit was settled for $8,000 on November 2nd, 2003. The second lawsuit was without merit, but said they were countersuing Ronald Mark Associates after they couldn't deliver tables as promised before the opening night. The next point is a bit shocking. Jay-Z reportedly shot his own brother when Jay-Z was only 12 years old. He said he did it because his brother stole one of his rings. How did he get the firearm? "I went to someone's crib, someone's house, and got it," Jay-Z said, explaining how easy it was at the time to acquire a firearm. "They were everywhere. You didn't have to go far to get one, they were just everywhere." After doing this to his brother, he believed he was going to jail, but his sibling refused to press charges and ended up apologizing to his brother because he was an addict. "It was terrible. I was a boy, a child. I was terrified," he said in the interview. Lastly, let's discuss how he reportedly punched a female fan in 1999 at one of his concerts. Yikes. In footage from Jay-Z's concert film, Backstage, a scene from part of the film shows Jay-Z striking a young female fan back in 1999. The rapper appears to slap and then push her in front of him as he walks down a corridor with his entourage. A spokeswoman for the rapper says that the footage was being taken out of context. Speaking to the New York Daily News, she said, quote, "The person in that video is someone who he's worked with for years and they are very, very close. And for it to be exerted like that is an insult."